Good day to you all. Welcome to another week of wild and wacky chit chats with the twins. I am Krista. I'm flying solo today. This week's episode is season 2, episode I think 27, called My Body's Trying to Tell Me What? Say what? And I really was hoping that Kara and I could have had this conversation yesterday with you guys together because it would have been really fun. However, when we were out at, good morning, Miss Mandy. I'm so glad to see you on here. We did try to do this at the farm, but we really had no internet connection. The universe did not want us to do this. Yesterday it started raining, so we're like, well, we're gonna try it on the front deck, and then it started raining out, and then we tried to go to the back of the house where my mom has a gazebo, and then it was super windy, and we're like, not today, I guess. Not today. So alas, you have me flying solo here. So we just come on every week and we talk about, some interesting things, just a different way of looking at the world, a different perspective on, kind of the average, normal, and real way of functioning in this world. And this particular conversation has kind of blown me out of the water. And I've been aware, that we function a lot of places of unconsciousness or anti-consciousness, where we really don't even know why we choose what we choose. We don't put much thought to it. We function on autopilot, and until you start to question things, ask questions, you don't really get much awareness around it. So I'm just reading this book by Dr. Dane here. He's a co-founder of Access Consciousness, and it's called Body Whispering. Dr. Dane here. And this conversation is, this chapter is listening and talking to your body. And I read this book, and I've been listening to I Talk to the Entities teleseries with Shannon O'Hara, who is the founder of Talk to the Entities, which is all about, connecting with the unseen world. And anyways, this telecall is all about children. And so a lot of what has come up in that is all of the places where, where we are taught to be a certain way. We grow up with the right way to do things. We use a lot of judgment. We function from polarity of right and wrong. Our parents function this way. Their parents function that way. Their parents function that way. It was a lot of just like the normal thing to do, and it came from a lot of unconsciousness. And it isn't right or wrong, and it works, obviously, and it works for a lot of people, but it brought a lot of awareness to me on where, I was just like, how did it come about that we don't listen to ourselves, that we don't listen to the body we are in? Who knows us best? Why would somebody else outside of us know more about what our body needs, what our body needs to eat, what our body wants to wear? And this chapter just opened up a lot for me, so I wanted to share it with you guys. So take a moment. I invite you to take a moment to think about how your relationship with your body began. Way back in your early childhood. Specifically, recall how meal times were for you growing up. Oh my God, this is why I wish Kara and I would have done this conversation together. It would have been so fun, but we were total shitheads, and we were the pickiest eaters. We hated everything but basically noodles and cheese sandwiches. And so every meal was a struggle. Every single meal was a struggle. And we would have to sit and finish our plate. So we would sit there for hours. We were stubborn little buggers, and we would literally sit at the table till sometimes 8 o'clock at night. we weren't allowed to leave, and we're like, I'm not eating this, you know, and like trying to sneak food away and get it into the garbage without eating it. And so like it was a common occurrence, you know, we were supposed to finish our meals, and that's just what you were supposed to do. And history has generally repeated itself in our household with our kids, except for that instead of making my kids sit at the table for hours, I set a timer, and I'm like, you got to eat this in the next 5 minutes, and then I'll have some sort of a consequence. If you don't do this, then you're not getting a snack tonight. And that usually is all it takes, is like you won't get to have a snack later if you don't eat what's in front of you right now. And it's so interesting because I am so aware that I didn't want to do that to my kids, because well, actually, kind of, who's kidding? It was very fun sitting there. It worked for Kara and I to sit at the table for hours after, or we wouldn't have kept choosing it. We would have just ate our damn food and carried on and went on and played. Something in it worked for us. So, who decided when you ate? Who decided what you ate? Who decided how much you ate? Did your parents let you bypass your vegetables and head straight for dessert? Not in my household. What happened if you were full, but you hadn't eaten everything? What happened if you were hungry outside of meal times? I'm hungry. How familiar is that in your household if you have kids right now? I'm hungry. Can I have a snack? I'm hungry. And it's like always right before mealtime. Was food used as a reward for being good, or a pacifier when you were being too much? Here's some candy. Here's some snacks. Just go away. Was clearing your plate taken as a mark of respect to your parents, while also being a sign of compassion to children around the world less fortunate than you? Oh, yes. You know there's starving people in the world. They'd give anything to have what you're eating. You don't know how lucky you are. Like, I know I've said that to my kids, and I know I had that said to me growing up. If you're nodding along to any of this, please know that you are not alone. So why we stopped listening to our bodies. Restrictions and rules around food are a commonplace in most families. Usually it's all very well-meaning, but it's rare that someone stops to think about the message it sends to kids, which is pretty much this. Listen to how other people think you should nourish your body rather than trust your body. Rather than trust that your body intuitively... Oh, sorry, I can't read today. Pot and pock, all that. Listen to how this is the message that we're giving our children, that we were given. Listen to how other people think you should nourish your body, rather than trust that your body knows intuitively what nourishment it requires. So we aren't taught to trust what our body knows. We are taught to trust that they know. Eat 3 square meals a day. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Well, my daughter Cami, she doesn't eat breakfast anymore. And I ask her every day, does your body want anything to eat? No. Okay. Well, I used to fight it. I'm like, well, you should have something. You can't start the day off this way. You should force yourself to eat something. And so I would, and then she would just feel gross about it. And, you know, and so for the last several months, she really hasn't eaten breakfast. I'm not saying every day, because that's another thing. It's like, oh, we buy this thing, like, well, we do something once and then forever and ever, amen, it has to carry on that way or else. So I just ask her, like, does your body require anything? No, it's not hungry. I'm not hungry. Okay. And instead of me then going in my head and being like, how's she going to function today? Like, how can she go without eating? Like, oh my God, this poor kid. And then projecting that onto her. Instead, trusting. Okay, your body doesn't want to eat right now? Okay. Well, when it does, ask what is required. Interestingly, without demands and expectations placed on them, children behave very differently around food. You'll see that they graze. They'll eat a little, and then they'll go and play. Then they'll come back. Then they'll eat some more, and then they'll go and play, and so on and so on. The only thing that limits kids from this natural ebb and flow is the adult's rigid point of view that they have to do meal times and eating in a certain way. What if eating more than you need or eating what your body has no interest in consuming are just two of the ways you may have been practiced out of listening to what your body is trying to tell you? What if there are a dozen more, or maybe more, like 1,000 more? So anything that brings up times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online, shorts, boys and beyonds. I'm just, there's so much energy around this, like so much energy. So anyone that's new to that crazy sounding thing, it's the clearing statement from Access Consciousness. You can look it up at theclearingstatement.com. And you can learn a lot more about Access Consciousness at accessconsciousness.com. And there's all sorts of classes that you can take. Anyways, the clearing statement is really, truly like this magical wand that anything like that, something triggers something in you. You know, you have a very strong point of view about something. And so when someone says something, you resist and you react to it, or you align and agree with it. And this clearing statement just brings up it takes all of that information and it just like dissipates and releases it. It's like this magic wand that clears and deletes all your limiting points of view around a specific thing. You don't have to understand it, just know that it works. But if you would like to learn more, then just check out theclearingstatement.com. So I'm going to have my little selenite wand here to help dissipate and release all these heavy points of view, because it does bring up a lot, because we have always been functioning this way. And what? Well, there's research that shows that you should eat this way, and your body does require this, and it doesn't require that. And, it's bad for you, and this is good for you, but we're not all the same. We're all very, very different. We have different things going on in our worlds. We move differently. We act differently. We are different. So how can there be only one way for all of these different people living on planet Earth? Who are you choosing for? Consider this. When you get dressed in the morning and you're there in front of your closet selecting your outfits for the day, who are you choosing for? This is another huge area for me. Kara and I were even talking about this yesterday. When I go, I don't leave Davidson all that much, and I'm pretty comfortable and happy in the clothes that I wear. And, but if I have a city trip, all of a sudden I go into a lot of heavy judgment around myself, and all of a sudden I can't decide what to wear, and I'm whipping through the closet, I'm whipping through my clothes, and I'm just this old thing, I feel comfortable in it right now, but when I go to the city, all these people are going to be wearing things that are way better than me, and way nicer than me, and more expensive than me, and newer, and it's now I feel like this little hick from a small town, and you start judging yourself. Who's judging? Whose point of view is that? Media? Magazines? Everywhere you look on the internet? It creates this judgment of ourselves. Are you choosing for you, or are you choosing with others in mind? Do you factor in what other people will think of what you're wearing when you make your choice? Perhaps the people at work, or your partner, or your mom. And then do you get all caught up in what you think you should wear and disregard what you would like to wear? More specifically, do you disregard what your body would like to wear? Because yes, your body absolutely has a point of view about the clothes you put on it. We just never thought of asking. How many of you have asked your body what it would like to wear? Show of hearts, raise your hands. Why is that you don't? Well, in exactly the same way that we grew up receiving messages about what food we should consume, we were also inundated with opinions and points of view about what clothes were acceptable and appropriate for us to wear. Think about it. Did you ever get a disapproving look from your parents for an outfit you were choosing to wear as a teenager? And what about now? If you're like a lot of the people that I know and work with, chances are you still get those side eyes or those thinly veiled criticisms at family get-togethers about your appearance. Oh, that's an interesting look, honey. Is that dress actually your size? How would you describe that color of clothing you're wearing? Other people's unsolicited opinions are fired at us directly or indirectly every moment of the day. Think about the media. Those magazines and online articles are awash with advice about what to wear and what not to wear, what's hot this season, what's not. After any high-profile award ceremony, you'll find a dissection of the outfits worn on the red carpet. Some will be celebrated, others mocked. Why am I talking about all of this? Well, think about all of those judgments and points of view, just about the garments we put on our bodies. We soak it all up and we never once stop to ask what our bodies require. Your body's awareness doesn't end at matters relating to food and clothes. It also has awareness about the activities it likes to participate in, who it likes to be around, and who it desires to get intimate with. Whenever we keep the volume turned up on our judgments, points of view, and conclusions of others, and turn the volume down on our bodies, we keep ourselves separate from its incredible and gentle awareness about everything. What does your body have to do to get your attention? What happens when we don't listen to our bodies? When you're separate from your body and out of practice with the energetic language it uses, it simply has to find another way to tell you what it needs to tell you. This is why the body creates stiffness, pain, and disease, all as a way of getting our attention, all as a way to communicate whatever awareness we're not listening to. Now we're going to explore this a lot more throughout this book, so buy this book. But just to take a second to think about this, there's almost a sadness to it. Our bodies are so giving. Just think about what they do for us each and every day. They take us from A to B to Z. They digest food, they fight bugs, circulate blood and oxygen. They pretty much are running the whole physical show. And here we are, so oblivious that it's got to the stage where pain and stiffness are the only ways they can reach out to us. The amazing and world-shifting news is that you can develop a relationship with your body today, starting right now, if you choose. This relationship can be nurtured and built upon with ease, and the whole process will contribute to your life, your living, and your business and practice. Ready to unlock some doors right now? Shall we use the clearing statement? So that's that thing I said earlier at the beginning of the show. It's really the quickest way I've ever found to change anything and everything. This one is focused on destroying and uncreating all those wrong points of view about what your body needs or desires. Here it is. Listen to it. Notice the energy it conjures. So I'm just going to invite you right now to drop all of your walls and barriers. without needing to know what that means or what that looks like. But get out of your head. Just get out of your head for a moment and expand beyond all of this hustle and bustle, all of the definitions, all of the limitations, all of the judgments you have of you and what you should eat and what you should wear and how you should move and how you should act and what kind of makeup you should put on your face or not wear makeup, all the ways that you should fit in, all the ways you should have money and spend money and be with money and be in a relationship, what kind of relationship you should have. Beyond all of that, but let all of that stuff bubble and boil to the surface. Everything you've done to impose that there is a right or wrong point of view about eating, about supplementation, about clothes, and all the other things your body desires or doesn't. Whether it's an amount of sleep you've decided your body needs to have, whether it's a particular food it needs to eat. Will you destroy and uncreate all of that now, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Just sit with that energy and notice what it does. Allow more to rise to the surface. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How was that? You might want to run it a couple of times and just notice what happens to the energy that comes up. Notice how it expands as if more space appears around it. That's you clearing your limiting points of views. Go you! We can talk about it for hours and we will move forward. Or we can use a clearing statement and move mountains. So how does it get any better than this? And what else can become possible if we start listening to our sweet bodies in all matters that include the body, which is pretty well everything that we do in a day. So there's a lot to this, and it is just the beginning. It is just the tip of the iceberg. But using the clearing statement will start to get rid of all of these limiting points of view around the way you should eat, around the way you should look, around the way you should dress. So as this stuff comes up, just pot and pocket, and start asking your body questions with everything that has to do with the body. Body, are you hungry? Do you require to eat right now? I know it's lunchtime, but do you require to eat right now? Do you need food right now? Yes or no? No, never mind. Carry on with your day. Listen to your body. You know your body when it's hungry, but we do so much out of habit, out of an automatic way of being, out of routine. Well, I have to eat breakfast because they say it's the most important meal of the day. Now it's lunchtime, like with my kids. They're hungry at 11 o'clock. Well, it's not lunch yet. You can't eat now. You have to wait till lunch. What would it be like if you just allowed your kids to listen to their bodies? And what would happen if you listened to your body? You know, when you're just like, oh, I just hate how I look today. Have you asked your body? Body, what do you want to wear today? And you just might get a thought of a piece of clothing in your closet. It might seem outrageous. You might want to say no, but what if you didn't? What if you did the opposite of what you would normally do? And that is really what it all boils down to with everything in life, is doing the opposite of what you would normally do. Listening to your body is not what you would normally do. So it's just the beginning. Kara and I have a private group called La Resistance, where we take a question from Access Consciousness and we say it 30 times a day for 30 days. And right now we are actually heading into month 2 of this question. How weird can I be today and how much fun can I have? And anything that brings up times a gazillion. So all of these points of view, then we use the clearing statement and it just starts to get rid of all of these points of views that weren't even ours to begin with. How weird can I be today? How weird can I be and actually start listening to my body? So if you want to join us, if you want to start listening to your body, because face it, we came here to this planet, we chose to have a body, and then we chose to ignore it. We chose to ignore our body since we can remember. Not consciously, but we were given those messages energetically. So what kind of phenomenons could we discover with our bodies? What are our bodies actually truly capable of if we would listen to them instead of shutting them down, ignoring them to the point where our bodies have to get loud through pain, depression, insomnia, fatigue, chronic aches and pains, headaches, all of the stuff that our bodies are desperately just trying to get us to listen to them. What would happen if we started listening? How much ease and joy and glory could we have? How wonderful could you feel in your body? How much could you actually start to appreciate your body, love your body, and discover the magic that could be created together with your body? I truly wonder. So thank you for joining me for another week of Wild and Wacky Chit Chats. I'll pop the link in here below. Join us in our private group La Resistance, and you will start to discover ways where you can be together making choices with your body for you, the unique being that you truly be. Thank you so much. And I will see you all on here another day, and hopefully see you over in our private group La Resistance. Have an amazing, magical day. Bye-bye.